This morning, Gulf Coast residents continue to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Laura, which caused damage far inland as well. It arrived just before the anniversary of a more destructive storm. 15 years ago this weekend, Hurricane Katrina made landfall, devastating New Orleans and the surrounding region. Soon after, one nonprofit group got to work, first in New Orleans and now far and wide, helping homeowners pick up the pieces and rebuild their future.
We just started a 3-year, $10 million campaign to rebuild 240 houses. Hello, young people.
When we first met Zach Rosenberg and his wife Liz McCartney in 2015, their nonprofit, the St. Bernard Project, had rebuilt 614 homes in the New Orleans area.
It was kind of like the Field of Dreams. You build it and it would come. Volunteers started coming out of the woodwork.
1, 2, 3, welcome home!
Today, SBP, as it's now known, has helped rebuild more than 2,500 homes, and the mission has expanded.
We just built the first net zero apartment building in all of Louisiana. That means solar panels powering batteries, and 50% of those units are for veterans.
Rosenberg says everything changed after meeting World War II vet Edward Lee. 5 years ago, we met the 94-year-old who built his own home with his own hands.
Home means 100% of my life.
Katrina's winds blew part of his roof off and cracked his foundation. He patched up what he could with FEMA money, but ran out before the job was done.
You never thought of moving out of this house?
No, I'm gonna die here.
But not before volunteers made his house whole again. He lived another 3 years and died, his family says, a happy man.
Getting to know Mr. Lee changed the way we saw our work. It wasn't about building houses, and we're still doing more than ever before, but it was about preventing the need to rebuild the houses in the first place.
Since our last report, SBP has gone national. The nonprofit has helped homeowners from Missouri to the Mid-Atlantic to the Caribbean. They've done it by streamlining the operation, cutting in half the time it takes to build a house. This Houston home was refurbished with roofing able to withstand 135 mile-per-hour winds. And that preparedness extends to cutting through red tape.
The first way to do it is help people understand and mitigate their risk. We just got to 19 million people by July to educate them on flood insurance. And as important, we train people after disaster to navigate the system, to avoid contractor fraud, to navigate FEMA, and to work with insurance.
So it sounds to me like you front load resources to them before they even need them.
Absolutely.
The mission has become a calling for Rosenberg and McCartney, who picked up and moved to New Orleans 15 years ago.
How's everybody?
A spirit of sacrifice needed now more than ever.
Here we are, 2 hurricanes in the Gulf. You have fires in the West. You have tornadoes and other storms throughout the Midwest. How do you ratchet up when it's coming at you from so many different sides?
So we have deployment calls. We are ready to respond to any disaster that hits within 36 hours this year, even with COVID. Local volunteers who, if and when something happens, can immediately be there in their own community. Because I'll tell you this, Michelle, one of our country's biggest assets is the concern that fellow people have for fellow citizens. People from across the country who have gone to disaster to help other people, and they're ready to do it again. And I think, frankly, that will be very healing at this time.
And SBP has helped people in the region impacted by Hurricane Laura, and they say they already have their teams in place assessing the damage as we speak. So they're really gearing up for today, because today is when they're actually getting on the ground.
It's so many steps ahead than so many were back with Katrina because of them.
And this is just one nonprofit. There are many others.
So they can pop up so quickly now. I mean, and just take action. And it's not just rebuilding the home to prevent it from being damaged in the next one. It is those relationships, right? Between the workers and the people who live there. It's really a joy to see.
And Mr. Lee stayed in touch with all the folks who worked on his home. It was quite a level,
Great.
Yeah.